back in the air.
I do think that we're entering into a period of heightened industrial conflict in Canada.
The Air Canada strike comes to an end. Pierre Poilievre returns to the House of Commons.
It was no surprise.
I think he's the guy for it.
But can he hang on to the party leadership? And translating for mom and dad.
They've gave me a lot of confidence in who I am and what my skills are.
The camp for kids from immigrant families. Good afternoon. We begin with breaking news. The UCP government says it will now cover the cost of the COVID vaccine for healthcare workers. Camilla DiGiuseppe joins us from the newsroom. And Camilla, what sparked this partial policy reversal?
Ian, backlash was swift from public health experts and healthcare unions after the province revealed workers on the front lines would have to pay out of pocket for the vaccine starting this fall. They had called the UCP government's move irresponsible to force healthcare workers to pay for the protection in the workplace. 2 months ago, the Premier, Danielle Smith, rolled out Alberta's new COVID policy program, saying the aim of the new policy is to prevent wastage after some $135 million was spent on unused doses. Now, we still don't know how much Albertans will have to pay for a COVID shot, but it's estimated at $110. The Union for Healthcare Professionals says it advocated for this very outcome for all of its members at the AHS bargaining table, while the Nurses Union says it's cautiously optimistic this decision will apply to members employed in all healthcare and long-term care employers as well. Along with healthcare workers, Ian, the province says those who have compromised immune systems, people on social programs, and seniors in congregate settings will also be covered.
Camilla, thank you for the update. It's relief for air travelers as Air Canada and its flight attendants have reached a tentative agreement, but the airline warns it will take time to resume normal operations. Tyson Fedor is live at the airport for us. And Tyson, this deal still needs to be accepted by the union.
Ian, local union members telling me today that they expect it will take quite some time before this deal is actually ratified. However, in the meantime, the strike is now over because this deal has been tentatively agreed. CUPE saying today it's now advising its members to fully cooperate with the resumption of operations. This coming after more than 3 days of job action that grounded more than 1,700 flights, impacting 500,000 customers. Details of the agreement have not been released, but the union says the contentious unpaid work is now over. Air Canada had earlier offered a 38% increase in total compensation for flight attendants over 4 years, with a 25% raise coming in the first year, which the union deemed insufficient. A key sticking point was pay for groundwork tasks such as boarding passengers, which are currently not paid. Now Ottawa is launching a probe into the allegations of unpaid work.
This is a disagreement between a union and their employer. The state shouldn't be putting their finger on the scale. But whether this has any long-term impact on the use of back-to-work orders, whether parliamentary ones or ones that are done through sort of the administrative state, right, just the functioning of the government, is very occluded, right? But I do think that we're entering into a period of heightened industrial conflict in Canada.
Now, Air Canada flights are resuming this evening. The company saying it wants to get about 15 to 20% of those flights back in the air, but the airline is cautioning that a return to full normal operations will take about 7 to 10 days. Now, that's because, of course, aircraft crew and pilots are out of position. Air Canada officials are also apologizing to its customers throughout this labor disruption and hope to get everyone back in the air as quickly as possible. Ian?
Thank you, Tyson. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is heading back to the House of Commons after securing the Battle River Crowfoot riding last night. Tyler Barrow joins us in Camrose. And Tyler, how are people in the community feeling about this landslide victory?
Ian, residents we spoke with are excited about having the Conservative leader represent them. In the end, he claimed 80% of the vote. However, not everyone is on board with their new MP. It was no surprise that Poilievre would win the riding of Battle River Crowfoot. The riding was considered safe because of how traditionally conservative it is. The big question during the by-election was how much he would win by, because many voters were not happy about an outsider parachuting in. Voter turnout was approximately 59%, a strong turnout by any measure. Here in Camrose, the largest community in the sprawling rural riding, most people are satisfied with having Poilievre represent them.
I'm very, very pleased and happy with how it all went.
I was glad he got in. I think he's a good man.
He toured the rural area and talked to all the local people, and I think he got a very good feedback.
One political scientist we spoke with says for the people of Battle River Crowfoot, having the leader of the official opposition represent them versus their former MP, Damien Kirk, won't make much of a difference. But what this by-election did do was put the riding on the map. Ian?
Tyler, thanks very much. Alberta cabinet ministers are meeting in Calgary today to discuss whether or not to reverse a new controversial expense policy for senior government officials. Mark Villani is live outside McDougall Centre. So, Mark, walk us through these discussions.
Well, Ian, this policy came into effect on August 1st, ending the public disclosure of receipts for senior government officials over $100 and wiping 8 years of these records from the internet. Now, the future of that directive still unclear tonight. Premier Danielle Smith previously saying that she was confused by this policy and that she'd be looking into the potential of reversing it. The new directive was introduced by the Department of Treasury Board and Finance, scrapping the old rule that required ministers, staff, and senior bureaucrats to post receipts for any expense over $100. The Office of Alberta's Privacy Commissioner says it wasn't consulted and did not understand the rationale behind the decision. The province defended the change as a safety measure to protect ministers who often stay at the same hotels while traveling, but opposition parties call it an attempt to conceal spending. The Alberta NDP says Smith is leading the most opaque government they've ever seen. Meantime, the Canadian Taxpayers Federation says receipts are critical to show Albertans exactly how their money is being spent.
So if you're a taxpayer, you'll want to know if your tax dollars are paying to rent a Corolla or a Corvette. You'll want to know if your tax dollars are paying for Subway sandwich supper or lobster and steak on your dime. So this is why detailed receipts matter.
Now, as this debate continues, members of the Centre for Freedom and Expression warn that this could be just the tip of the iceberg. They say it fits into a much larger pattern, pointing to Alberta's new Access to Information Act, which reduces the public and journalists' right to information and access to it as well. Ian.
Mark, thanks very much. Danielle joins us now. Another very pleasant day.
Yes.
Perhaps a great evening to go for a bike ride, right?
Right. And keep in mind, this whole week should be fairly stable, except for tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow's a bit different. Tomorrow will cool down a bit in the city. We have the risk of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon hours, but then it's very stable after tomorrow. So this is a one-day thing. So yes, enjoy a bike ride for the rest of today. 26 degrees, all sunshine pretty much at this point. Winds relatively calm. All right, your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Fifth Avenue Volkswagen, where you can win your ride. See dealer for details or visit fifthavvw.com. And we're looking at stable weather for the evening, for the overnight, for tomorrow morning. Tomorrow, just a high of 21, and by 2 in the afternoon, that's when we get into our chance of showers and thunderstorm activity. It may even get a little gusty as well, up to 40 kilometers per hour. Your full forecast coming up, Ian.
Thanks, Danielle. An Airdrie man is $1 million richer after his win on a scratch and win ticket. Gurpal Parmar picked up his ticket at a gas station in Olds and was shocked when he scratched the ticket. The winner is looking forward to enjoying his jackpot, saying he's in desperate need of a new car. He also says he'll be making a down payment on a house, and he hopes to take his family on a vacation. Calgary has a need for new housing, and every bit helps. Still to come, the program geared toward housing Indigenous residents. And in many immigrant families, teenagers can play a key role. The camp aimed at helping them help their parents. And if you have a news tip, text us at 10400. The city is putting $30 million toward a program for Indigenous housing. The historic investment will help create between 150 and 350 new non-market housing units. The Indigenous-led program aims to address systemic barriers to housing, land, and capital. Indigenous people make up just 3% of Calgary's population, yet represent over 41% of those who experience homelessness. Another 3,800 are struggling to afford the homes they have.
We have heard that there's discrimination when looking for a home to rent. There is exclusion from culturally safe housing. And there are systemic inequities that perpetuate harm, and that keeps intergenerational trauma going, and that keeps families in crisis. It is a cycle that we absolutely need to break.
The program launches on August 25th. For more information, log on to calgary.ca/Indigenous housing. A new task force is helping Central Alberta businesses as they manage economic struggles brought on by tariffs. The Central Alberta Resilience Task Force is a coalition of 11 municipalities, including Red Deer, Didsbury, and Innisfail. The task force recently released a 6-page report gauging the potential effects of U.S. and Chinese tariffs. It's now asking for local businesses to share their experiences to try to come up with solutions.
To be economically resilient, it means that we can withstand economic shocks, whether or not those shocks are coming from trade tariffs, or whether or not they're coming from the pandemic, or whether it be some other thing that's going on in the world.
Businesses can share feedback on current economic conditions and the challenges they're facing through a survey. The answers will be used to shape policy recommendations. A new program is expected to help as many as 300 current and aspiring early childhood educators launch or advance their careers. As part of the Early Childhood Educator Bursary Program, 300 one-time bursaries of $10,000 will be granted to eligible students over the next 3 years. Since 2021, the number of early childhood educators in the province has grown by more than 13,000 to more than 31,000. The money can be used to cover the cost of tuition, books, and some living expenses.
I'm laughing because there's construction going on.
Yes, there's construction going on in the room next door. I don't know if you heard that, but
anyway,
we'll have them pause that until at least 5:30.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
The only tricky day of this week is tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah. And for Calgary, this could lead to showers, thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon. And for areas to the east of Calgary, we could even get into that more severe storm criteria because there's so much heat. We have the lift coming in from a cold front. So a couple ingredients in place to really get us to a spot where it'll be a bit of an active day for some communities tomorrow. But that will be the one day of the week. And then after that, it's sunny, it's stable, and temperatures will climb once again. When we talk about heat, oh my goodness, in the southeast corner, it's certainly a hot one for today, and it will be hot in the southeast corner tomorrow as well. That's why many communities here are under a heat warning, and I'll touch on that in just a second. 26 degrees in Calgary, 30 in Drumheller, 29 in Pincher Creek, and the winds are calm for today. They'll pick up tomorrow, and Calgary down through Pincher Creek, Lethbridge over to Medicine Hat, you'll notice gustier conditions. South of Calgary, 50 kilometers per hour, and Calgary looking at 40 kilometers per hour, especially later in the day tomorrow. Okay, the heat warning, that's in place south of Empress, to the east of Brooks, so these communities, Medicine Hat's included in this, Foremost, many berries. And this is because we have 2 consecutive days of temperatures in those lower 30s and overnight lows in those mid-teens, so no even relief in the middle of the night from the heat. It will be another hot one for tomorrow because it will be hot here tomorrow, but things will start to cool down here tomorrow. So we'll notice a difference in Calgary, southeast corner, not so much. I'll show you what's happening. We have this that will start to track in, so we'll start to see some cloud cover. And again, this opens up to some instability as well. So I'm going to play this through hour by hour here for you. All right, overnight tonight, just some cloud cover for Calgary, so nothing really going on here. But overnight tonight, closer to the Medicine Hat area along the Saskatchewan border, there is the risk of a thunderstorm around that midnight hour. Okay, if I advance this for tomorrow in Calgary, we're looking at some cloud cover and some sunny breaks in the morning, and then by 2 in the afternoon, this is our risk. Showers and thunderstorm activity up the QE2, Calgary included in this, areas to the west, and even down to Okotoks. And then this could intensify greatly as it heads off to the east. So Brooks up through Hannah-Oyen and Coronation could see some thunderstorm activity that could actually result in some larger size hail. After that, it's clear. Not a whole lot to talk about. So 21 is our high for tomorrow. Today's high, to put it in perspective, 26. So a little cooler tomorrow, a little breeze at times out of the north, 40 kilometers per hour, especially in the afternoon, and the risk of showers and thunderstorms after 2 p.m. But sunshine for Thursday, Friday, and the weekend, and temperatures will climb to those mid-teens for the weekend.
Children of newcomer families often become de facto translators as their English-speaking skills typically develop faster than their parents. Now there's a free program geared just for them. The Immigrant Education Society has launched a free day camp for youth between 12 and 18. Regardless of newcomer status, the 4-day program offers workshops about medical, financial, or legal situations they may end up brokering. Peace officers spoke with the participants about bylaws and animal control. The kids also play games and meet others who are in similar situations.
And language brokering is basically when you translate or interpret one thing to your language and then translate it back. So I was kind of struggling with it, but once I joined this camp, they've gave me a lot of confidence in who I am and what my skills are.
Organizers hope a day camp like this will reduce stress and provide practical preparation. The day camp is funded by the City of Calgary. Many Canadians are having trouble keeping up with their bills. Still to come, how much higher those debt figures are here in Alberta. Canada's inflation rate cools off in July. Joining me is Robert Geary, investment advisor with the Popwich-Carmeli Advisory Group. So, Robert, how did the markets close out the day?
Yeah, it was an interesting one here, Ian, and I think the major point to make is that it was kind of a topsy-turvy day, and the biggest one to note is the NASDAQ took a bit of a sell-off today. So this is the tech-heavy side of the market, sold off over 300 points or over 1.4%, and this is on a couple of reasons. One, a lot of these companies, including NVIDIA and a lot of the chip makers, are up over 40% this year, right? So there's a little bit of profit-taking happening, and the other one is on the back of an MIT report out of Boston saying that a lot of the investment from AI that is going into companies isn't properly being utilized for actual margins and efficiency. So I think a lot of those companies are taking a breather today.
And when you drill down on the inflation data in Canada today, what does that tell you?
Yeah, I think so. The headline numbers were good. They came down more than expected, 1.7. The expectation was 1.8. So that's the headline number year over year. The biggest reason for that was gasoline prices coming down about 16% year over year. So that was the main reason for that. The market also looks at, and Bank of Canada also looks at core measures. So taking out some of those volatile numbers of food and energy. And generally speaking, those are starting to come down. We're still seeing elevated in food and shelter, but if you look at the trend, it's starting to come down. So I think the Bank of Canada is starting to look at this going, the trend's starting to slow. There is now a higher percentage of economists and people stating that we're going to get a cut here on September 17th.
All right, Robert, thanks very much.
Yeah, appreciate it.
A new report from Equifax Canada shows 1.4 million Canadians missed a credit payment in the second quarter. The report also shows Albertans have the second highest non-mortgage debt at $24,659. That's higher than the national average, which is more than $22,000. The average Calgarian has more than $24,000 in non-mortgage debt.
We look at the age ranges in Alberta, you tend to have more individuals kind of in what we call the peak credit usage age range, so kind of 36 to 55-year-olds. They tend to be using the credit the most because you kind of establish things like your own home, maybe you've got lines of credit, maybe an auto loan, and because there is just a higher percentage of consumers in Alberta that fall into that age range, that's one of the reasons why we see that average amount a little bit higher.
Oaks adds that non-mortgage holders and those under the age of 36 have greater financial stress due to a slow job market and the rising costs of groceries, cars, and housing. COVID shots will now be provided to healthcare workers in Alberta free of charge. Here's Tara Nelson with a look ahead to CTV News at 6.
Hi, Ian. The province reversed its decision to charge for the shots this afternoon. The province had said it was to save money, but healthcare unions said that was irresponsible. Now, it is only a partial reversal, as the public will still have to pay. We'll have more details at 6 o'clock. Also ahead, a change to the expense policy for senior government officials will change back after blowback from the public. We'll hear about what the concerns over the new policy were at 6 as well. Ian.
Thanks very much, Tara. The forecast generally pretty consistent over the next few days, even into the weekend as well. Right now in Calgary, a lovely night, mainly sunny and 26. Danielle has details coming up. It's only Tuesday, but it's never too early to look ahead to the weekend forecast, right?
And the weekend forecast is bright and hot.
Love it.
I knew you would like that. 26 degrees is the current temperature in the daytime high. Normal is 22, so we're certainly above normal today. We'll be about a degree below normal tomorrow, and this is because a cold front will be rolling through. That will likely spark up isolated showers, maybe even a thunderstorm in the city as well. Getting a little windy in the afternoon as well. And then we'll remain at sunny skies for Thursday and Friday, and temperatures will start to climb a little bit by the weekend.
Thank you, Danielle. The Strathmore Motorsports Park is the home track for some of the Calgary and area's best young kart racers. The park is home to the Calgary Kart Racing Club, where drivers of all ages see who can record the fastest laps. Alloy Racing sponsors 2 drivers here. Its goal is to develop them to be the best they can without having to worry about financial barriers to the sport. And it's competitive with speeds at over 100 kilometers an hour on the 1.2-kilometer track. Like any race team, Alloy wants to win, but it also has a goal to develop good drivers on and off the track.
But regardless of whether a young person makes it through into the highest levels of motorsport or becomes a paid motorsport driver, there's a ton of human development and leadership development that happens when you pit yourself against your peers.
Alloy Racing developed a tool on its website to help families learn more about kart racing and to see if it's something you're interested in pursuing. We've posted more information about the Fast Track program on our website. A Calgarian has won a national title at the Canadian Superbike Championship. 20-year-old Torin Collins got his 6th win of the season to clinch the title at the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park in Ontario. This weekend, a trophy presentation is happening at Rocky Mountain Motorsport in Carstairs. They will also be teaching 75 riders how to be safer and more confident on a bike. Thank you for joining us. Now here's the early edition of the CTV National News.